Morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me on Motivate with Iz. Today's going to be a little bit different. I got a setup here finally. I think technically we've figured this out. We're using a site called StreamYard. So if you want to comment, you're going to have to give StreamYard permission in order to jump on and comment on the video. So today we're going to talk about love. But before I get going, I really want to talk about the last video I did. I got a message almost immediately afterwards from a good friend who said, "Hey man, you're a little abrasive," and gave me some advice about how to approach some things, and I really appreciated that. But there's a reason why on our logo it says real, raw, and unedited, and it's another reason why we have evolved into just doing live videos, because you can't edit something and put it up there if you're going live, and then you get genuine real feelings, real emotion, real passion, which is a double-edged sword. And I get that. I'm fine with that. But realistically, isn't that the draw? Isn't that why we get together on here and kind of share ideas and talk about things? And I was at a loss for words. I didn't even know. You try to pick around things like, I wanted to say this country is a great country, and that's been stolen, right? I was watching a video. I didn't realize that politicians have been using that since the Reagan era, but it's become so divisive that you try to stay as in the middle as possible, especially when you're a leader, so you don't lose people, because you want to still remain approachable to every group of person. And I'm actually going to step out on a ledge today and share a little bit of myself and how I lead. And I am going to share some things. If you want to stick around, it's fine. If you want to watch it all the way to the end, I appreciate it. This one's going to be a little bit longer, I think, because I'm going to talk just in kind of let the conversation lead me where it goes. I do have some notes, but I am going to pick up a book and read from it, and some people may like it and may not like it, and I'm okay with that. But I want you to understand where I come from in leadership, and how love plays a huge part in how I approach not just leadership, but people in general. I don't think we talk about that enough, and to get back to the negativity of the last video, I get passionate about a lot of stuff, and sometimes that leads you down a path that where your emotions get the better of you, and it gets negative. But I will tell you that you can't have light without a little bit of darkness, and it's kind of what keeps us centered and keeps us going. And we learn and we grow, and that's what this is. Motivate with Iz is very organic. We're growing. That's why I finally have a microphone. I finally have a good camera set up, and we're using StreamYard to get our videos out there live. And I'm going to be putting these on YouTube at the same time. I'll be putting them on Facebook. So you can follow us on YouTube if you wish, if you're more comfortable with that platform, at Motivate with Iz on YouTube. And we're on Twitter too. So Motivate with Iz on Twitter if you want to follow a lot of the memes that we pop up, the photos, the motivational posts that we make. Those are going to go up on Twitter as well. So we're just trying to get a message out there of positivity, get a message out there that kind of gets people going, whether it be a workout today or studying something, or just, getting after a goal. That's really what this is about. This is about staying on the positive path to making yourself a better version of yourself, a better version of, what you're capable of. All right. So let's talk about love, right? In leadership, love is what drives me when I approach a group of people. Actually, not even leadership. Let's just talk in general. When I engage with people, it's from a place of love. And here's how I approached my latest unit that when I was introducing myself. I asked them a very blunt question, especially with what's going on in the world. And I'm going to keep referring to that last video. Describe to me someone with one word. Just use one word. Describe to me someone who loves unconditionally. Just one word. It's very hard. We have to search in our language for a word that describes somebody who just plain old loves. And then I kind of flipped it on its head, and I said, now describe to me someone who hates, especially with what's going on right now, right? Describe to me someone who hates. And I know right now, everyone watching this has got a bunch of words flowing through their heads. And it's okay. I mean, we've got to deal with our emotion in our own way. And that's all right. But the fact is that we don't focus on love as much as we do hate. And when you're leading and you want to be approachable, there's a lot of armchair quarterbacks out there that want to judge you, right? Just watch any news channel you want, and there's a lot of judging going on. There's a lot of armchair quarterbacking going on, regardless of what side you're on. And they want to say, oh, and let's talk about a junior person that works for you, for example, and you've told them no on something, and they just say, so and so doesn't care. And the fact is sometimes we have to say no because it's the right thing for them. But then again, I got a great boss, and my boss says intrusive leadership, right? That's a dirty word now. It's become this dirty word, intrusive leadership. My boss says on a very regular basis, and it's a brilliant statement, so I have to attribute it to him, that the only people that hate intrusive leadership are the people that need that in their lives, right? Let's get back to armchair quarterbacks and how they judge the people that are in a position and don't even understand what those people are going through or why they're making that decision, for an organization or for an individual. And they don't know what's in your heart. They don't understand that it truly is coming from a good place because you want what's best for them. So, in my transparent leadership, I always talk about love. I share love. I share what my guide is. I share where love comes from me, right? And we are afraid of the word love. Oh, that's horrible. That's too intimate. That's an intimate term. Yeah, I mean, it's intimate when you're talking about, the person you're married to or you're in a relationship with. Then intimate is the right word. But there's nothing wrong with unconditionally loving somebody. And I'm not even getting into religion, although I am going to talk about it in a minute. I'm talking about just when you see somebody on the street in Walmart and you just say, and you smile, even though it's hard to smile through the mask right now. Watch one of my other videos about that. But it's when you just see an individual for who they are and just go, man, they're struggling just like me and I love them for it. And that goes a long way. It goes a long way in leadership. It goes a long way in meeting people. It goes a long way in making the world a better place. Love is a magical thing if we could just get to it, right? So my guides, God, Heather, and my family and people, really. I mean, and it really is in that order for me. I don't talk much about my personal relationship with God. I don't really get into that. It's very, as you can tell, I'm getting a little emotional about it because it's hard. That's something that in my life that is still developing, and I'm trying to get there. But I want to share something with you real quick, and I'll get to people and family and Heather, but I want to share with you one passage, one verse that was read at my wedding, at our wedding, Heather and I's wedding, and what guides me. And it doesn't talk about God. And if you're religious, that's okay. I'm glad that you have your relationship. But if you're not, just listen to the words. It's a book to you, right? And I'm okay with that. You have your beliefs, I have mine, so I'm not pushing anything on you. But I want you to know just one verse that drives me and gives me guidance. It hangs on the wall in my bedroom, and believe it or not, I have read this aloud at work as well. And I always caveat it with, hey, your beliefs are yours, and that's okay. But I want you to hear this because this is something that keeps me going and centered. Okay. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am not a resounding, going, or I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries, and I know and all knowledge, and I have faith that can move mountains, but I have not love, I am nothing. In other words, you could be the greatest Christian out there, but if you don't love people, if you could be the greatest human being out there, you could be doing a lot of amazing things, but if you don't love people, you're nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and surrender my body to the flames, but have not love, I gain nothing. This is my favorite part. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when perfection comes, the imperfect disappears. The imperfect disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put childish ways behind me. Now we see but a poor reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, when I fully, even as I am fully known. But now these three things remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Gets me every time. Gets me every time. And I will tell you, for those of you that know me really well and are starting to follow, I cry easily. I'm a big baby. But it's because I love deeply, and that moves me. And, you know, when you share that with people and your family and your wife or your spouse, right? For me, it's my wife. When you share that and you love deeply, you can change the world. You know, and if you add that to leadership, and people know that, when you tell them no, when you use intrusive leadership, they get that, and they feel it. And then intrusive leadership doesn't become an ugly word. And when you tell them no, they understand. When you ask them to go do the difficult thing, they know your heart and why you're asking them to do those things. So, do your people know you? Do they know who you are? Do they get you? And do you share just a little bit? I'm not telling you to rip your chest open and give them your heart. You know, it's my way and that's how I lead, and it's okay. You know, I think it's my way is okay. And you know what? Your way is okay too. But do your people know you? Are you consistent? Do you show them how much you do truly care about them? I think that might be a missing part across the board. We don't know each other. We armchair quarterback. So show compassion, show empathy, show love. That's what we do. As human beings, it's all right to be a little bit vulnerable. It's okay to be a little bit transparent. It's okay to lead in a way that connects on a little bit more real, raw, and unedited way. I love you. I mean it. Motivate.